Another exciting moment to delve into the book. It is Book to Art on Delta Television. As usual, we'll start off with the profile. Do stay with us.
Meet literary icons only on the program Book to Art, Delta Television.
Dr. Tony Felix Nwaka holds a PhD degree in History and International Studies. He is a writer and public policy consultant. Among his published works are Lords of the Creek, Mountain of Yesterday, Mr. Benjamin's Pen, Shadows and Nothings. Dr. Tony Nwaka has held various positions in the government of Delta State, Nigeria, among which are Commissioner for Education, appointed twice, Commissioner for Special Duties and Head of State Emergency Management Agency SEMA, Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources, Commissioner for Local Government Affairs, Chairman, Association of Local Government Councils of Nigeria, Algan, Delta State, Forum of Council Chairman, Executive Chairman, Anyocha South Local Government Council, Chairman, Transition Committee, Anyocha South Local Government Council, Chief of Protocol, Office of the Deputy Governor, Asaba, Delta State. Dr. Tony Nwaka was featured by the Guardian newspaper dated 20 March 2011, page 36, and a special report on 50 Nigerians of integrity and distinction. Our literary icon on the program is the distinguished Dr. Tony Nwaka. He is happily married with children.
Today, as always, on the program, we have the profile where we'll take on a very important guest as it relates to literary works. And of course, we have Dr. Tony Nwaka very much in the studios. Last time he was on, and very briefly we delved into a book, his recent work. But today we'll be taking just on another one, and it is Lords of the Creek. Let's make welcome our guest.
Thank you.
All right, you look good.
Thank you.
All right, just before we take on that, I'd want us to look at another beat which bothers on Ken Saro Wiwa. Now, 25th anniversary was yesterday, and of course some book clubs actually eulogize this moment. For instance, the Uyo Book Club did a beat on him. It was a big colloquium on him. So we'll take on this moment. We'll be back to feel your pulse on Ken Saro Wiwa. 10th November 2020 was the 25th anniversary of Ken Saro Wiwa. It's 25 years since the environmental activist Ken Saro Wiwa departed the earth. The Uyo Book Club commemorated the 25th anniversary of the gruesome end in the death of the Nigerian writer, environmental activist, poet and scholar Ken Saro Wiwa with a colloquium to mark the day. Saro Wiwa was a world-renowned peace advocate who fought for the liberation of the Niger Delta, but was cut down in his prime by the General Sani Abacha military junta. Alongside Isaac Boro, who took up arms, fought as a soldier, and was killed during the Nigerian Civil War. Ken Saro Wiwa fought for the rights of the people using the pen, and together they remain two very important agitators in the Niger Delta struggle before the current democratic dispensation. Dr. Udeme wrote upon In Memoriam for Ken Saro Wiwa, and was presented at the colloquium Uyo 10th of November 2020. May we read. To those whose lands and waters have been appropriated by scavengers within and without, to those whose little streams and waterways are being converted, to those whose farmlands have been conquered and destroyed by cows. Speaking out is not treason. To those whose daughters, wives, mothers have been kidnapped and taken hostage, to those whose husbands, sons, fathers have been forcefully conscripted to fight causes they do not understand nor believe in, to those who were harassed, molested, assaulted, killed on the roads by trigger-happy security men and women. Speaking out is not treason. To those whose stream, source of drinking water, have been turned black and sticky from the spill of crude oil drilled and taken away to develop other lands, to those whose rooftops have been perforated by acid rain caused by years of unmitigated gas flaring, to those whose bodies itch prone to sickness, effects of primitive oil exploration activities. Speaking out is not treason. To those who grovel and genuflect for temporal leaders, who consume the commonwealth like gluttons, to those who turn a blind eye and deaf ears to decades of decadence in education, decayed healthcare facilities, social infrastructure, but globetrotting jets paid from the public purse, their words in first world socialization centers, to those who marginalize, act unjustly, unfairly, and trample on the human rights of others, treating bona fides as slaves in their own lands. Calling you out is not treason. Udeme Nana PhD Uyo 10th November 2020. In the same vein, Ekong Sampson presented another piece, The Medalist for Ken and the Tribe of Martyrs. May we read. Nene, by the time you read this letter, I would have been executed. Not to worry, never shed a tear, for on honors lapse. Better to fall standing. The struggle was long. My spirit longer hung a medal on my neck when the excellent misses targets. When I seek these faces, I find none. Instead, tempestuous clouds rise and dance in somber salute of the missing journeys. Ufik, must I introduce myself in ageless garb? I am not sorry. I am sorry, leveler of the forest of lies and oppression, handmaid of the innocent in this trial, justice in manacles. You are sorry for being innocent, a packed jailhouse, furrowed gallows. Nene, celebrate when a bow with grace away from ravenous traitors to ant task masters and their wakeful sleep. Ekong Sampson Uyo 10th November 2020. Indeed, the poet and scholar. That's to let you know that yesterday was the 25th anniversary of late Ken Saro Wiwa. Yes, he lives on again and again. Now, you are another literary icon. What do you make of Ken Saro Wiwa? Just quickly.
Well, he was an inspiration.
Okay. So it's actually good to remember.
Yeah, an inspiration to so many persons on many levels. It's so sad now to speak of him in the past tense. His death was an incalculable tragedy. But on many dimensions. You speak in terms of his activism, you speak in terms of his literary productions, and of course, humanity.
All right.
So it's a sad one.
I can imagine. All right, whatever it is, they say that literary icons will continue to live on now, forever, and if you ask me, the days after forever. Now we're looking at this work of yours, Lord of the Creek. It's something like what we're saying about this Delta State, I guess so. Very quickly, you just do us a summary of these and see how we can actually read a bit from Lords of the Creek.
Okay, thank you. In fact, it's a fascinating coincidence that we are reviewing it today. We're speaking about Ken Saro Wiwa as well. Where you see the theme, one of the themes of the book, Lords of the Creek, draws from the objectives, the goals, that Ken Saro Wiwa had pursued, which bordered essentially on the despoliation of the Niger Delta, by the oil companies and the conflicts that arose in terms of the intergroup hostilities around there. So Lords of the Creek has its setting in Warri, and it reflects, first of all, the historic inter-ethnic hostilities that have existed in that area, and how it fits off on the oil politics of the Warri society and the Creeks as well. So here you have the principal character, Mr. Roberts, who is the MD of an oil company in Warri, and somehow he runs into a problem when a princess was kidnapped from the home of one of his staff. And because of the animosities within the society there, some persons interpreted the incident to be an attempt by a particular ethnic group to ridicule or undermine another. And some people believed it because of what had come over the years as a subsisting or mutual acrimony between the two ethnicities. But at the end of the day, it all turned out that none of the ethnic groups was responsible for it. The culprit was someone completely outside the area, completely outside. And so it goes to reflect again the reality on ground there. You see that the crisis, the fights you see going on within the society there, most times it's instigated by people from outside the area. So that's in a nutshell.
All right, so this book is actually 224-page book, and it's a 13-chapter book. I actually looked at it myself, and I'd say that Lords of the Creek is an out-of-control adventure, just like the way you termed it. Now, let's take a good adventure as to do a bit on A Call at Bell Lane. That should be the first one. Let's see how it fared. It was a Wednesday, and the morning traffic was, as always, amidst the several hundred cars crawling through the streets. A brown Mazda turned into the driveway leading to the Adilak's quarters. A few meters to the security post, the Mazda driver pulled out a pass from his breast pocket. The stout guard drew close, took a hurried look at the laminated card, and threw the gate open. It did not take long for the car to get to its destination, number 5 Bell Lane. A sleepy-looking young man opened the front door. He made to smile, but froze when he noticed the gun pointed at him. Staggering aside, he watched the man walk into the house and head for the lady sitting at the dining table. He remained rooted to his spot as they pulled her off the seat and dragged her out the door. In the car, the gun pressed into her side by one of the two men she was sandwiched between was enough to stop her from screaming. "Who are you? Why are you taking me?" she croaked in a foreign accent that underlined her American residency. With With his hand crossed over her shoulder, the man to her left patted her back. "It is well, my dear. Just remain calm and no harm will come to you," he said. She wrinkled unfortunately as she tried to shrug off his arm. "You've not answered my question," she replied, boldness slowly slipping in. "Who are you and where are we going?" From the silence in the car, it was obvious that they had no intention of answering her questions. The hand over her shoulder gripped her arm as a police checkpoint loomed ahead. Well, I tried a little bit. Okay, that's just to let you know what really happened when she was actually kidnapped. Okay, that's the first on call at Berlin. Berlin, as we know, is the destination they're actually going to, and they succeeded to an extent. Let's see, let's flip over as we do maybe at the first paragraph of the 13th chapter. What happens to be the last chapter? The story for the people.
Yeah.
The first paragraph.
Okay, let me take this one.
Okay.
It's story for the people. Edna sat by the bed as Robert received treatment at the intensive care unit of Warri General Hospital. She took all his incoming phone calls and was usually on the line for several minutes on end. President Dombraye had called to congratulate and invite Robert to the presidential complex for a presentation of national honors. Governor Reinka had expressed the gratitude of the government and people of Delta State. The billionaire oil magnate Otumba Isiakwa Dedoyin had been arrested while the princess was rescued and taken to the Department of State Services. She will be flown from Abuja to Warri that day. Major General Hastrop reached Robert later. He expressed his sympathies and commendations. Robert inquired about anarchy. General Hastrop informed him that he was still on the run. Larimantu will be court-martialed. The military high command was pushing for a secret trial, as the naval officers' initial confessions had caused some disquiet within the upper echelons of the security pyramid. There were indications that before the end of the day, the president would formally react to the developments. General Hastrop knew that the security architecture of Dombraye's administration would never be the same again.
That's an adventure, if you ask me. Okay, well, let's actually look at this. We read the first and the second, just a bit of to let us know what this book is really. You gave us a summary actually, but we just wanted to be in the mood of the book by actually reading, so that others can actually grab copy and do same, you know, on their own time. But now, what's the intent of writing Lords of the Creek, and what lessons are you trying to pass to others?
Yeah, I think it's essentially is to promote inter-ethnic harmony.
Okay.
You know, permit me to say that the book is based on my PhD dissertation.
Okay.
Yeah, I did my PhD research on the inter-ethnic conflicts within the Warri area. Okay. So I felt at a point that, well, it's not everyone that will go looking for a PhD thesis to read. I found some things there very interesting, which I imagined would be beneficial to the open society, to the wider world, and the best way to bring it to the appreciation of the audience, the global audience, will be to fictionalize, those elements of the research which I found quite interesting, and so that was what I did. And at the end of the day, I brought in the youth activities within the area, you know, then the activities of the oil companies, you know, the long-standing inter-ethnic disruptions or tensions, conflicts, and you see that the denouement, that's the conclusion, try to reconcile these disparate activities, and at the end of the day, it all preaches inter-ethnic harmony and living in peace. Yeah.
All right, yes, ethnic harmony, inter-ethnic harmony is what we clamor for, and I want to believe that if we live in harmony, however your tribe, you can be sure that everything will be okay, there will be development, and that will also foster peace. So that's what this book is all about, reaching inter-ethnic harmony, and so it's a must for you to read, Lords of the Creek by our very own Dr. Tony Felix Nwaka. Pleasure to have you again.
Thank you.
Anytime, any day. I love your books and would always call on you.
Thank you.
Do stay with us again another Wednesday as we bring you a great episode. Remember, our literary icons, they're all alive. They mean so much, and they have lessons for you to learn from. Okay, this is Joe Wilson sign off. Bye-bye.
Meet literary icons only on the program Book to Art, Delta Television Asaba, 10 a.m. every Wednesday. Do the art, stay smart.